Hey guys, welcome to Massive Iron Live. Welcome to the last Friday of the year. Welcome. Hope you guys had a wonderful week. I had a wonderful week. I overindulged on cookies, and maybe I'll tell that story a little bit. But anyway, the last Massive Iron Live of the year. Please post up your questions. Let's make this a good one. Got a couple quick things to talk about before we dive in. For those of you that are new here, Massive Iron Live is the longest running live Q&A podcast in the history of the lifting world. That's my story, and it's probably true. Who knows? We can make up anything on the internet, right? So anyway, I'm here to answer your questions. Post up your questions. There are no dumb questions, no stupid questions, just awkward questions and unusual questions you probably shouldn't ask in public. How do you guys do this week? My wife, who is a fitness freak, who makes me look like a wimp, right? She decided to make cookies this week for the first time, like ever. And she made just amazing batches of different types of cookies. And I'll tell you what, I had to try half of them. It was the most sugar and junk I've eaten since I've lost weight. And I will not lie, I felt like just crap for 2 days. I ate really clean yesterday, and I got in a chest workout. So I'm feeling a little bit better. So let's get into your stuff. Before we do, if you post up something and it doesn't go through, that's not me blocking you. That's YouTube throttling you. So try rewording your questions. Try shortening things. Sometimes if things are too long, they don't go through. Also, if you're tuning in late, you can head over to Instagram and send me a question via DM. I'm happy to help. Also, if your question isn't going through, try rewording it. Sometimes YouTube filters naughty words or borderline words. Who knows? It does whatever YouTube wants to do, right? So anyway, a couple things before we dive in. Yesterday, I made a video about the 10-100 challenge. For those of you guys not familiar, it's a free challenge. All you have to do is join the Discord group. You can check out the link down below to the of yesterday's video to the Discord group. Or if you can't find that because you're simply dense or in a cookie coma, you can head over to Instagram and DM me, and I'd be happy to send you the link. Now, one more thing before we get started. Coaching, this is my busy time of year. I'm looking for about 5 more clients. These will fill up quickly. If you haven't checked out coaching or you're not sure about coaching, I would love to work with you. I do things very, very different and in a good way. You can check out my latest Instagram post at Ben the Barman for more information, or you can check out the coaching tab at superlivingtoday.com. Most coaches charge over $200 a month. I charge only $89.40 after the first month. I'm able to do that because I coach for a living. I have a really efficient system. I check in daily. Once you sign up, we set up a time to talk. We go over goals. There's no cookie cutter nonsense, no spreadsheets involved. We handle all of our business basically through the texting area of my coaching app, and we get a lot done. So I'd love to work with you. It's only $89.40 after the first month, 3-month commitment. You want to start the new year fast and furious, please consider it. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to message me. $89.40 is a pretty good value. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I'll have people that'll say, I can't afford it. And I'll say, well, if you dump all the junk food and the alcohol and the fast food, you can. It's really how much you need the help. But I'm not sure. I'm not here trying to pressure anybody into coaching. I want to work with people that want to work with me. So if you want to get it done, check it out, superlivingtoday.com. All right, let's get into things. Somebody already posted about the Pecky decky. I can see that. Paul, good morning, Paul. Thanks for tuning in from New Mexico. Hope you had a good Christmas week. And you are first, by the way. That might be the first. Martin, how's it going? Martin, massive menaces, maniacs, and maniacal something. I hope everyone who celebrates it had a fantastic Christmas. Yep, whether you celebrate Christmas or you don't, let's finish the year strong. We got another big year coming. Every year is a blessing on this planet. So let's do what we can to get everything we can out of our fitness, out of our nutrition, and out of our life. Jonathan, happy Friday. Stephen T. Massive, come join us on Discord and do the 10-100. Absolutely. The 10-100, and again, there's a full video I did last night. You can check it out. But basically, there's 40 challenges. You get to pick 10, and you get to run them for 100 days. So whatever 10 challenges you want, they don't have to be about weight loss. They can be about building muscle, sleep habits, sticking to your bulk, etc., etc. So I'm going to hop forward really quick. Big Billy Baker said, what's the latest on the new training app? It is coming really soon. Actually, this weekend, we're going to get social media up. I've been putting out a workout tracker with my development team of one, but we've put in a lot of work on this. I use the workout tracker, and it's going to be called PR.O. All the social media is going up this week, and it's coming very, very quickly. It's going to come very quickly. We're going to start doing videos about the features, allow people to get early in for release notifications. So if you've not heard of the workout tracker, it is coming, and we mean business. This is a workout tracker that I put together for myself. It's for serious lifters. It's not some foo-foo workout tracker for the Gen Pop. It's for people like us who take lifting seriously. No disrespect to the Gen Pop. They can still use it, but this is something that is for us. One of the nice features, now I'm not going to get into it. We'll let you guys see the features when we reveal everything. All right, Harris, good to see you, Harris. Hope you had a good week. Year of extreme highs and extreme lows, but glad to have found Team Massive this year. Hopefully 2025 will be a success. Just let me know what I can do to help, if anything, even if it's simple guidance with bulking and cutting. I want to see you guys succeed, so don't hesitate to ask me questions on anything. Big Martin, can you please talk about how you would theoretically approach working with a client who isn't able to train upper body for a spell of a few months? So theoretically, Martin tore something in his, rotator cuff area. He's still doing some research, getting some finalized medical opinions and information. But theoretically, anytime you get an injury, the first thing you do is list out everything you can do, okay? Doesn't matter what type of injury it is, right? You have to figure out, what can I do? That's the starting point. So when I'm working with anybody, doesn't matter who they are, doesn't matter what injury they are, whether they broke their leg or had a concussion or something fell off, it doesn't matter. Their head fell off, probably a good thing for half of us meatheads, right? We assess what can we do. We list out every possible exercise we can do. So for shoulders, rotator cuff, what does the doctor say we can do? Can we do upright rows? Side laterals are probably not in the mix. What can we do? And then we want to do it. So sometimes if something is unilateral, say one side we can't do one shoulder and the other side we can, we want to work the other shoulder. There are some, obviously, when you are training, we want to hold on to as much mass as we can. Doing unilateral work isn't going to cause one side to get huge and the other side to, just atrophy. There is some information that training one side actually helps to maintain the other side. In the short run, it's probably not a bad idea. It's not always fun to do unilateral work, obviously, but when we talk about things we can do, we want to focus on adding in unilateral work if it's a possibility. We don't want to overdo it, right? but a reasonable degree. So if you have like a shoulder injury and it's one shoulder, obviously we can do liggy wiggies. We have to ask ourselves, are there any back exercises we can do that aren't going to aggravate the shoulder injury? What are the restrictions from our doctors? Pressing is going to be the most serious issue. So if we are able to do any unilateral work, then we will work that in. Single arm dumbbell bench, single arm dumbbell cable fly or dumbbell flies, cable flies, whatever, Pecky, decky, Bulldozer. Sometimes you can hold a weight in one hand, not actually press it, and do a press with the other, kind of a counterbalance thing. We have to ask ourselves, what arm exercises can we do? Are there any arm exercises we can do? So we have to piece together a list of everything we can possibly do. And Martin, that is your task this weekend based on what your doctor has to say. Big up before we go. I want to thank Big Paul. We're going to scroll down to the bottom. Join us for the 10-100 Challenge. Team Massive. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate the donation to the cause. The 10-100 program, and again, you can find the Discord link on last night's video in the description box or message me. Come on over. Just join us. We have a really good community, really good lifting community. So where are we at? What exercises are best suited for the Bulldozer protocol? So the Bulldozer protocol, there are several variations. You have the standard variation, which is you perform a set. Bulldozer is rest pause. Okay. Basically, before a muscle completely recovers, we allow a little bit of the cardiovascular fatigue to go away, a little bit of the, metabolic stress inside the muscle cells to go away, a little bit of that stress to go away. I forget what we call it. I forgot more than what I remember. That's how dumb I am, right? But basically, we're going to do rest pause work. We're going to push a muscle down, and then before it gets a chance to fully recover, we're going to push it down again. Before it gets a chance to fully recover, we're going to attack more reps. So the basic Bulldozer protocol is 5 total mini sets. So you do a set for maximum safe quality reps. You rest for about 20 seconds. You can adjust this based on the exercise. Perform max safe quality reps, rest about 20 seconds, max safe quality reps, until you have 5 total reps. So when you hit about 13 or 14 reps on the first set, then the next time you perform this exercise, you would add weight. You can also do escalating Bulldozer, which is the deeper into the protocol you get, the more you rest. So you could rest 15 seconds after the first set, 30 after the second, 45 after the third, 60 after the fourth, et cetera, et cetera. There's really many ways to do the Bulldozer protocol. Which exercises are best suited? Well, you want to do ones, pretty much anything works well with the Bulldozer protocol other than squats and deadlifts. And let me explain. Squats, it's going to end up taking a lot of energy, re-racking, getting set up, getting under the bar. Squats become very, very difficult. So you can do rest pause work with squats. But number one, you need to make sure your form is nailed down and really rock solid, because there's no point in screwing around with rest pause on squats if your squats are El Succo, if you know what I'm saying. So we need to have that nailed down first. And once they are, you're better off doing maybe 45 seconds to 60 seconds of rest in between squats. You're going to pick up a lot of cardiovascular stress. Having a weight on your back, even if you just stand there, is going to cause your heart rate to elevate. So on squats, we want to mitigate the cardiovascular stresses so we can really stress the muscle tissue, if that makes sense. So we have to prolong the rest periods a little bit, 45 seconds, 60 seconds, maybe even up to 90 seconds in some cases, depending on the structure. With deadlifts, we have a 6 and 10 minute block that we use in the massive iron world. And if you're not familiar with the deadlift block, you're really, really missing out. You can message me or I can send you the information. But check out my channel for deadlift block. Basically, you do a single or double. You have a 6-minute block of time or a 10-minute block of time. And basically, you do a single or double, and then you release the bar, you stand up, you shake out the cooties, you shake out the nonsense, take a deep breath, and then when you're ready, you grab the bar again, get set up again, and do another single or double. So you repeat this during the 6 or 10-minute window. And when you get to a certain number of reps, depending on the protocol, then you would add weight the next time. So this is a really good way to do deadlifts. It mitigates lower back stress. It mitigates some of the cardiovascular stress or nature of the deadlift. And it allows you to continue to work on form and setup. So it's a really good protocol. Let me get a drink here. I have a pink Monster. I'll tell you something. These things taste better. The Prime. Now, this had become my favorite, the Strawberry Dream whatever. But these I found at Ollie's for like 89 cents a piece. I'm trying to chill on the energy drinks, but in the meantime, I'm trying to save a little bit of money. Jonathan, big, hairy, ugly dude, how do you go about your protein goals of being sick? When I'm sick, I don't worry about anything but getting well. Okay, so your main focus when you're sick is getting unsick. Don't put pressure on yourself. Everybody's different when they're sick. When I'm sick, I'm a boo-boo baby. I like to eat comfort food. All this stuff goes out the window, starve a cold, feed a fever, whatever the old mom stuff is. I don't worry about that. Usually I'm a boo-boo baby when I'm sick unless I have a stomach issue. And I will do ice cream. I'll do nachos. I'll just eat like a pig. That's just how I like to be when I'm sick. But don't worry. Don't worry. You know, a day or two of being sick, we're not over worried about micromanaging protein and macronutrients while we're sick. Just eat in a way it makes sense. Nothing bad's going to happen a day or two while sick. When you're done, just hydrate, get in your electrolytes, your sodium, your potassium, and maybe wait an extra day until you feel completely 100% before hitting the weights again. We don't want to drive your immune system down any further. Big Joe B, a client of mine. Good morning, Team Massive. Rico, how's it going, Rico from Team Massive? Good to have you here. Big Joe B. Starting my cut January 6th, looking to do a 1-week deload. What are some options? Follow my deload protocol is option number 1. Option number 2 is follow my deload protocol. Option number 3 is follow my deload protocol, right? So let me see if I can find it here. If you go to the main page of my thing here, I have a video. If you go to the main page of YouTube and search deload, I have 8 rules of when to deload, and I'm going to see if I can pull up the main points. Rule number 3. Basically, you drop about 30 to 40% in weight, and you drop a set from every exercise. It's really that simple. So if you're doing 3 sets in exercise, drop it to 2, drop weight about 30, 35, 40%. Don't push anything deep. Just hit your rep target, get in, get out. We're only in there to deload or take a little bit of pressure off. And Joe, just hit me up in the coaching app. We can clarify, but that's all you need to do. Don't overcomplicate deloads. They're just a rest period, just a break from hardcore training. You're not going to get any value out of them. You basically you're allowing some of the fatigue levels you have to rescind a little bit. So when you come back off the deload, you're feeling more fit or you're feeling more fresh. So the goal of a deload is to come back more fresh. So basically deload the weight about 30 to 35 to 40%, drop a set for every exercise. Don't do any rest pause work or intensity techniques or anything fancy. Don't be pushing for PRs. Just hit a reasonable number of reps, get in, get out. Big Joe B, my golfer's elbow has returned. So we need to make sure you're using VersaGrips or straps on every back exercise and on all rack pulls, RDLs, deadlifts, etc. So that's number one. Number two, you need to kind of relax the grip when you can. I just want to tune in on that, Joe, or zone in on that, or zero in on that, or whatever the hell I'm trying to say. Make sure you're using that. You can drop weight on the curly whirlies a little bit, but typically it's not going to solve anything in the long run. We need to address the long run solution. In the short run, if you need to drop weight a little bit so it doesn't feel brutal, absolutely. Big Martin, what are you looking to achieve in 2025 on a personal level with regards to your own training life goals? Good question. Coaching has really become the focal point of my life, and that's a good thing. I love coaching. I want to work with you guys. I appreciate working with you guys. And I want to work with more people. I've become so efficient at coaching in the last year and a half that my previous workload that used to cause a lot of hours and stress is very manageable right now. So I do have room for more people. But I get super inconsistent with my own training. That doesn't mean I don't get in good training. Last year, I got up to 265 for 10 sets of 10 on bench, but I'm super inconsistent, meaning, I'll work out 2 days a week, some week, 3 days, some. I'm like 50%, 100% of the time. And it's not like I'm gaining weight. It's not like I'm losing strength. I'm just kind of holding steady. And I really need to have some big goals in the new year. I'm 57. I'll be 58 this year. And I feel good. I feel wonderful. I don't feel it. I look at a little bit. It's like people look at my pictures and are like, you look a little bit older. Well, most of my hardcore pictures of lifting and physique were almost 10 years ago. So we've done a lot since then. We've done a lot of running, and coaching has just moved really quickly for me. But personal goals, I want to see what I have left. Not so much strength, but physique-wise, I just want to see what my physique looks like at a more leaner body weight. So that's still the primary goal. To get the app launched, that's a big goal. And to find time again to run more consistently, that's a very big goal. Bondia, Steve, this is about your 2-plate bench video years ago. Is this once a week or twice? It's once a week. You can do other bench press work, but you don't want to do this specific program twice a week. So let me see if I can find it. Hold on a second. I'm going to mute the YouTube. Finding a video when you have 3,000 videos on YouTube can sometimes be challenging, but just hold on a second. I want to see if I can find the actual video so you guys can do it. Bench 2-plate special. If anybody has it, post it into the window, and that way I can take a look at the link, or even I have so many bench videos. I can't even remember what the 2-plate special is, or what the name of the original program is. So if anybody has, here we go. Dorkwad McJones is up here. Wow, this is way back when I first moved to Ohio 10 years ago, right after losing 100 pounds. This is Dorkacheski Jones, which is me. I can't play the audio because, believe it or not, YouTube will punish me for using my own audio. So basically, the 2-plate special, this is how I started the 5-10-10-20 back in South Carolina, right before I moved to Ohio. I would do 5-5-5, 10-10-10, and 20. I do 7 sets on this. So you guys think the 5-10-10-20 is intense. I used to do this 5-10-10, boom. So let me get my fan hand out of there. The goal is to put a weight on the bar and do 7 sets. And when you get to 20 on that top set, then you move up in weight. Obviously, you're only going to do this once a week. There was some assistance work that I listed. There's Blabbermouth McJones. Bench press, you can do machine press. Let's fast forward, dumbbell incline. You can do whatever you want on assistance work. This is just some of the stuff I listed at the time. If you want to train bench twice a week, you could do 2 chest exercises one day, bench and something else like machine press. And on the second day, you could do dumbbell inclines and maybe a Pecky decky for those of you that like the Pecky decky. But this is the name of the video. If you guys want to see it, is let me scroll down a little bit. Whoops. Complete bench press and chest building program. You can go to the main page of YouTube and search this out. This is a 2-plate special 10 years ago. I've been doing this forever, right? So I got so many programs, sometimes I can't even find them all. All right. Ice Cold Tristan 2.0. Good morning, Team Massive. I'm grateful to announce that this week I've hit new PRs. Wonderful. On the big lifts, big squat, big overhead, big close grip, and big deadlift. Nice work. That's a good way to end out the new year. Last year I did 215 close, 275 squat, and 4 or 5 deadlift, 135 overhead. Good. Forward progress is always good. And I don't ever want you guys to feel like your progress, isn't like these superhuman people on Instagram and on social media. My progress was never like that. I mean, it took me forever to get to a 405-pound bench under a weight of 250 pounds. And I know that sounds super duper impressive, but when I tell people it took me forever to get it, I actually hit 430 when I was about 276 pounds in 1999. And then I slowly started to gain weight. And when I returned to lifting, I became what they call in the obesity world, a fat ass. I got my weight up to 346 pounds. And I was benching around 430 again. But then when I got down to 246, I struggled to get above 400. I finally was able to get 405 by 2. But I was never able to return to the strength I hit on bench press back in 1999. But I was eating very aggressively during those years. I went from like 180 to 270 in the course of 3 years, and hardcore lifting during that time. I was eating pretty big, pretty consistently, and it was really working wonders on pushing my bench up. But anyway, really good work, Tristan. Keep it up, and let me know if you need any help. Troy, a client of mine. Merry Christmas, big hairy ugly dude. I put on 3 pounds in 2 days. Good. I like to hear that. Then hit the gym and added 4 reps. See, that's what I'm talking about, Troy. One of the big goals I have with Troy is to pack on some serious mass. And some people require a little bit more food than they might for the average bear when it comes to bulking. And Troy, I think, might be one of them, but it's not placebo. You have more glycogen, more calories. Calories always works wonders for me on bench. Big Jonathan, how should we ideally set up the Pecky decky? I like to have my elbows I don't like to have my elbows equal with my shoulders and do this, because when you come in, you get some really weird shoulder stress. So you want to find a place where it feels good here, right? In the middle. And don't mess around with your elbows. And you want to find a place that feels good here, because then you can work yourself backwards. The key on a Pecky decky isn't to smash your hands together. It's to drive your elbows together towards the center. Can you see my chesticles kind of just kissing each other, just a lovely embrace? You want to focus on driving your elbows together towards the center of your body. And as you do so, feeling those chesticles lovingly embrace. So I hope that helps some. Big Zach Barker. I've seen James Tinyvest talk and preach about thermogenesis for fat loss and recomp, basically eating the same calories but way more protein. Me and James are on the same sheet of music, and some of you guys might consider this micromanagement, but if you look at my bulking and my cutting protocol, and it's something I just put on Instagram. Let me see if I can find it real quick so we can actually cover the nutsies and boltsies of the whole program. Just give me a second because I'm pretty sure I put it up and about 5 people looked at it. There we go. That's the kind of way Instagram works. You can put up gold information and people are like, oh, okay, thank you. Thank you for your contribution to the internet today. So I'm going to get your comment off here so we can see this a little bit more clearly. How to attack fat loss in the new year. This is basically the same thing James Tinyvest is talking about. And I'm going to skip through all the hoo-ha. You want to make protein 35% of your daily intake or higher, 35 to 40%. By doing this, it's going to force you to rely on lean protein. This is going to raise the thermic effect of digestion a little bit, which is a minor, but still we'll take every advantage we can get. Protein's harder to digest than just licking sugar cubes off a plate or drinking fat Cokes. And it's harder to digest protein than in most cases fat. So this will force you to rely on lean protein foods like chicken, pork loin, lean venison, bison fish, Greek yogurt, or even the addition of egg white. So you want to get your protein levels up, and then you want to get your fat levels down to about 20%. Not that fat is evil, but this does a couple things. It'll allow you more food volume during the day, and it'll shift more calories towards your extra calories that aren't protein, more towards carb foods, plant-based foods that require effort to digest. Like you don't have to live on broccoli or cauliflower, but things like rice, potatoes, even fruit, apples, oranges, whatever. We're shifting our digestion to things like lean protein sources and a lot of plant-based foods and some complex carbohydrates that require more of an effort to digest. The beautiful thing about this whole approach is that it allows more food volume. It is the way for food volume during cutting, and it has a slight thermic effect when it comes to fat loss. It takes more calories to digest this stuff. And some people are like, it's trivial. During a cutting period, we're going to take every advantage we can get, every advantage. And people that want to get out of it and do if it fits your macros and eat Pop-Tarts, whatever, do whatever you want. But if we want to truly optimize a cut and we want to optimize our micronutrients during a cut, this is a wonderful approach. Barbell Beauty, happy Friday. Team Massive, I hope you enjoy the holiday season. Thanks for tuning in. Big Zero, Friday's finally here. Hope you and everyone is doing well. Thank you for tuning in. All right, we're about an hour in. I'm going to get a lovely drink by Pink Monster, right? I nearly swallowed an ice cube live. All right. You want to see my Christmas present? This is a watch my wife gave me. I am a kind of a watch nut. She can see we have the, this is nice and heavy duty. It's not, you have the wood, you have the steel, and you have kind of the wood base, whatever you want to call it. I'm still overdosing on cookies. That's one of the watches my wife got me for Christmas. I like watches. I do. This is one of my other ones that I just took off this weekend. I have a new watch box as well, so I do like a watch. Big Billy Baker, listening on the final back day of 2025. Make it count, Bill. Paul, where's my avatar? I don't know, Paul. What happened to your avatar, Paul? I don't know. Ernie, Big Ernie, client of mine. Good morning, Team Massive. Thanks for tuning in. Michael, a client of mine. Hey, folks, so glad to make it on time. Greetings from Berlin. Hope you have a good finish to the year. Thank you for tuning in. How can I reduce the amount of swinging that I'm experiencing between reps of pull-ups and chin-ups? Sloppy pull-ups and sloppy chin-ups are basically ego lifting, and let me show you a client of mine that I posted recently on what the kids call Instagram, the old Instagram. Okay, so here we go. First off, the question is, how do I stop swinging? You become more disciplined. You have to have control. If we're not controlling the pull-ups or chin-ups, you're basically just turning it into a lot of stress on your elbows and on your biceps, your bicep tendons. On the way down, see that full stretch all the way down. Get a slight stretch in the upper back and or lats, and then pull up again. Okay. Slight stretch, not rushing. Slight stretch, not rushing. Slight stretch, not rushing. We're not stopping halfway down. And it's all discipline. If you can't do quality pull-ups, then don't do sloppy reps. There's not a lot of value. Try using a block system where you do 2 minutes and try only doing quality reps. If you want to add in bands to get in some additional work, I don't like doing cheat work on pull-ups and chin-ups. I don't think it adds any value from a hypertrophy standpoint. I think it just kind of beats up the wrong areas. Big fella, hope you had a great Christmas. Thanks. You too. Can I ask, do you do lat pull downs? If not, I absolutely do lat pull downs. I've done them basically every back day for 38 years. Currently, one of my favorite variations is the V handle, because I believe when my elbows are tucked, I can really kind of feel the lats working, but I love to alternate between those and wide grips. Best for lats is going to be a good selection of exercises. Lats are harder to work. So obviously, if you can do pull-ups or neutral grip pull-ups, that's a good place to start. Complement those with lat pull downs. You can also work in dumbbell pullovers every other week with lat pull downs if you want, or the dumbbell focused row, the lat focused dumbbell row. So there was one influencer who said this is a silly exercise, and it's not. It works really, really well. You always have that one influencer that talks down an exercise, and that's half the problem with this industry, are these knuckleheads that do that. But you can do a lat-focused dumbbell row, which I like to do. I played around with a couple of years ago quite extensively just to put it through the test. Regular dumbbell row, you just pull to a natural position, drive your elbows back. You're trying to get a good back feel. A lat-focused dumbbell row, you bring your elbow more towards your hip, so you can really feel that lat area a little bit more than the mid-back. So that is an option as well. Big Mark, I have a question. Have you heard of whey protein in some cases lead to bloating? Back when I worked at Muscle and Strength, there was some information that I found that talked about one of the ingredients that was added in whey protein could cause stomach distress, not necessarily the whey protein itself. Now, I understand for some of us, whey protein can cause bloating and stomach distress, but I also want you guys to understand that when I was at Muscle and Strength doing research on this, I found that there was a certain ingredient that was added into whey protein. I don't remember what it was now because this was 12 years ago, that could cause stomach distress as well. So my point in mentioning that is, don't automatically assume that it is the whey protein itself. it is worth trying a different brand, something a little cleaner, meaner, a little bit leaner, maybe an isolate put out by a really good company to see if there is a difference. So that's my best advice. Kind of weed things out and see if that helps a little bit. What fruits are good on a cut? Currently in season are oranges, guavas, bananas, apples, dates. I try to avoid the really calorie dense stuff. Oranges make you work for them, and they have a lot of, I believe, calcium in the rind or the white part. Apples, good. Bananas, I tend to avoid on a cut because they tend to be over 100 calories. You can get in basically a couple of oranges or apples. Low glycemic fruits like blueberries, blackberries, strawberries, raspberries are always good. Things like that. Dates, I think, are a little bit higher in calories. Things like grapes are good as well. So basically anything is good as long as it fits into your macronutrient profile. But I tend to avoid those fruits that are a little bit higher on the sugar end, not because I'm inherently trying to avoid sugar, but because I'm trying to get in more food volume. Ice cold. Finally got an ab wheel for Christmas. Good. Glad to hear it. It's one of my favorite toys. Next year, I want to make it a goal to do my first standing ab wheel rollout. Get a video if you can. Those are extremely rare, but that's a wonderful goal. If you can get there, you're well above the average individual. The legend of Mr. D. By the way, I'm looking to make a few videos for next week on YouTube. If you guys have any suggestions, things you'd like to see headed into the new year, drop those in the comments down below. I'd be happy to entertain that video topic. Wisso, I've hit a PR on standing overhead press after a 10-week stall. Good. I'm glad to hear that. What do you think about tilting the dumbbells away from the body on dumbbell bench? Keep things natural. Don't try to force some arbitrary angle. You don't want to. Some people think they have to keep the handles of a dumbbell parallel like a barbell. No, you just keep them natural because the point is to build strength. A little bit of rotation is normal. I don't worry about it. I don't want you guys to worry about it. Just keep things natural and don't force any specific angle. There you are, Paul. Your face came back. That's good. No BTN press leaves 33.3% deltoid gains on the table. Right. Behind the neck press is a really quality option. I used it for 20 years, and I think it's a good choice to consider. Egg, milk, whey, chicken, fish, mutton, good for daily protein diversity on a cut. Milk, good micronutrient and phytochemical content. Eggs, superfoods, if there are any. Fish and chicken, good backing to both of those. Whey to fill in the cracks. And I'm American, so I have no idea what mutton is, but it sounds good. So, yeah, it looks really good. Happy holidays, Steve. Finally hit 225 on the bench. Congrats. After about 7 months of training, that's really, really good. Your advice has been helpful. Appreciate it. That's wonderful. And I'm glad to see you reach that level. Congrats. Shelly Kleinemann. Good morning, Shelly, from the West Coast, Best Coast. Cowboy Bill. Hey, y'all. Greetings from France. Thanks for tuning in, Bill. David, welcome to Friday, David. I appreciate you tuning in. Jan or Jan. I'm going with Jan. Switch gyms and new gym has a thinner bar. Things like that mess with me, especially on the bench press. You can go from a super thin bar. Sometimes the super thin bars really beat up my palms for whatever reason. I can't really explain it. My bench exercises feel really uncomfortable, and I'm not able to do the same amount of weight. Number one, just focus on hard training. There's not you can't change the bar, right? Um, you could get, yeah, I mean, you could try to bench with a VersaGrip, which thickens the bar a little bit and maybe provides a little bit of padding or a little bit of better feel. I don't know. I've never tried that. My best advice for you is not to think about weight, to take care of yourself and to be safe, and to think about just hard training. That's all you can do. Ice cold Tristan. I measured my garage in case if I want to set up a home gym in there. It's 10 feet long, 8 feet wide, and 8 feet high. Is there space enough to have a 7-foot barbell half rack with 2 uprights? Uh, excuse me. If it's 10 feet long, you can definitely squat in there. You're going to have about 1.5 feet on each end to get in your plates. It's a little bit tight squeeze, but you can get in there to squat. You'll be able to deadlift. Honestly, before you go spending $1 bazillion, the first thing I'd probably buy is a cheap barbell. You can find them, reasonably cheap, or you could just find an old junker on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace if you want to deal with that chaos. And just play around in there before you spend $1,000 or more to see if it feels comfortable for you. Moving around stuff can be a real pain in the backside. So in a tight space like that, you might find there's a lot of monkeying around and it might drive you crazy. So really, really think it through. Is it possible that your arm size remains the same after 1 year of training, but the arms have better definition? There's a chance you could have lost a little bit of fat. If you're, I mean, if your body composition looks better, there could have been a 5 to 7 or even 8 pound loss in body fat and an increase in size, muscular size across the whole body. But in general, that's a pretty intense red flag. One thing I'd like to know, I can see your picture kind of on your avatar, and you look like you have decent mass. I would like to see your picture. I'd like to know what your arm size is flexed, because that can help us understand where you're at in the process. If you need more help, I'm here to help. Join Team Massive. We can comb through things a little bit more, or consider signing up for coaching. Jimmy, are people on way more PEDs than people in the 70s and 80s? Because absolutely. The 70s and 80s were kind of playing around. The guys got bigger and they were okay with where they were at. I'm sure some people abused them more than others. It's just the nature of people to abuse things that provide benefit. So we don't want to make blanket statements, but the amount of chemicals that are available now are far more and far more diverse. I've heard cycles of power lifters, just people sitting in my office talking about the cycles of certain people, and it's ridiculous. It blows my mind. The amount that some of these guys take per week blows my mind. And there are so many levels of use and abuse. It cracks me up when somebody blows a gasket over somebody using 200 to 300 milligrams of test a week. Now, I'm not going to sit here and proclaim that anything is generically healthy or safe for anybody. I'm not a doctor, and I'm also not an idiot. But what cracks me up is I will have a client maybe on 100 or 150 milligrams of test, maybe a a 55-year-old man or whatever, and people try to equate that to someone, they'll just yell steroids, like all steroids are equal to someone, taking well over 2,000 milligrams a week, plus orals, plus HGH, plus tren, in situations where it's almost impossible to put on body fat, right? So people like to equate these things, and they're not equatable at all. If anything, the modern chemicals, if you know what you're doing, allow you to remain a lot more lean, especially in the off season. I'm no expert. I really don't care about them, to be honest with you. Feeling like my grip may hold me back, use VersaGrips or straps. We don't ever allow our grip to hold us back on back work or deadlifts. Get VersaGrip Pros. You can work your grip all you want, but you need to use VersaGrip Pros on your back and deadlift work. There are some indications scientifically that the stronger your back is, the stronger your grip is naturally going to be. This was some research that came out way back when that showed that by bringing up your back strength, you can bring up your grip strength as kind of just a default. So bringing up your back strength using VersaGrip Pros can actually bring up your grip strength. Now, you can use things like Captains of Crush grippers. If you want to work your forearms, you can do wrist rollers. Those are two really simple ways. But for the love of all things wise and true, use VersaGrip Pros on your back work and on your deadlifts. Never allow a weak grip to restrict your ability to build strength. Milan, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in. Watching your content in 2024 totally changed my attitude towards lifting. I'm really glad to hear that. And I want to hear your guys' ideas of anything you want during the new year. I really tried this year to focus on putting out content that was quality information that addressed the massive iron system. So anything you guys want, I really, really value you letting me know. Really looking forward to 2025 and what can be achieved with Team Massive. Looking forward to joining you all at the end of January. Come on over. We're ready. Everybody's welcome. Please join us. Jimmy, what age did you hit a 315 bench? I think my third year in training, I was about 275 for 4. So a little bit shy. I joined the military after that for a couple of years, and I took a little bit of a break from hardcore training. I still trained the best I could, but I remember hitting 275 for about 4, which is about 315. I don't think during my first 3 years of training, I got it above. Actually got it to 315. I don't remember. I could have hit 275 for 6. I don't remember. I wasn't numbers obsessed. Around 97, 98, I remember getting it over, doing 365 for a lot of reps. But I was gaining a lot of weight. I got out of the military, and I got out of the military in January of 1994. And between then and 1997 and 99, when my first daughter was born, I gained weight pretty rapidly, and my bench just continued to move up and up. Is it bad to have the back round over when doing heavy submaximal deadlifts off the ground? It depends on if it's the upper back or lower back. If you have a video of your deadlift, feel free to share it now. I can take a look here live. I'd be happy to take a look live if any of you guys want me to take a look. But your upper back, it's okay to have upper back rounding. As long as your setup is good, that's fine. You don't want to try to retract your scapula during a deadlift because that's a fool's game. It's going to always move forward during a deadlift pull. So Lower back rounding can be a sign, usually is a sign of hips either being too low or too high when you start a deadlift. So we would need to see form. Big Justin Jones. Happy holidays, big, hairy, ugly dude and Team Massive. This year is coming to an end, and I want to thank you for everything you did to help me. Thank you. I appreciate it. Anybody in this day and age that takes time out to be thankful for anything has my respect, because we live in a weird, crazy age. Thank you. Sincerely appreciate it. Do you recommend your massive iron upper posterior for someone with an inconsistent schedules, where you can't? Most of my clients, I'd say a vast majority of my clients, I give them flexible schedules. Whether or not they need flexible schedules is another thing, but having a schedule that allows for some flexibility is a good thing. If you can do 4 days most weeks, but occasionally only 2 to 3, the upper posterior is a perfect choice, because you can just cycle between the 4 workouts. So yeah, that's a wonderful option for you. Saw this young broccoli knucklehead on YouTube talking crap about the bent over row, saying it's not optimal. I made a video about this recently, and I'm going to show you guys. I shared all my thoughts. Optimal, schmoptimal, boptimal, smoptimal, right? Optimal is a quality selection of exercises. Whether you do the pendley row or the barbell row, it doesn't matter as long as you're doing them correctly. Ignore any chuckleberries, knuckleheads, whatever. If it's giving you good value, then stick with it. With that said, I prefer the pendley row variation. If I can get it to load here, all of a sudden YouTube is not loading. I did a video, I believe in the last month, where I was talking about the regular row and about the pendley row. So I want you guys to check that out. Hey, it finally loaded. Present, share screen. So these are videos from the last month. Magic MT, barbell row controversy right here. Barbell row controversy, why I prefer my pendley row variation. You can check this out recently. And even though I prefer the pendley row, the barbell row can still give you great value. A lot of my clients use it as long as you execute it properly, right? And that's the key. And who cares if it's unstable? I would say any influencer that randomly attacks exercises that are classic is mentally unstable. Adonis. I've started using dual D handles on lat pull downs, and a little bit of rotation I get as I pull really hits my lats hard. Good. That's wonderful. That's why we try slight variations. And that's one of the things I talk about in the massive iron world, evolving training based on needs. Wonderful. Big Jimmy. What's the difference? Pull-ups and lat pull-downs are slightly different. Like, someone can be better at lat pull-downs, but yeah, I mean, that's the reason why we do exercise variations, because some of them are different. The lat pull-down, you're tethered to a cable system, and you can get some wild variance in the feel. With the pull-up, if you have longer arms and weird leverages like me, you're probably not great at them. I'm not great at them. So completely different exercise because of the setup and execution. Some people can be really good at lat pull downs and not good at pull-ups. It's just the way things are. That's one of the reasons why we want variety, if that makes sense. Are resistant band lat pull downs with a heavy enough band? No. I'm not a fan of them. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I don't want to offend anybody that's used them, that feels like they're getting good value out of them. I just think they're a low tier exercise. I always find with bands that I can do more. It's hard to overload them. It's hard to, I always feel like if I can do 10 reps, I could probably do 15. I could probably do 20. If you have a perfect setup, great. That's wonderful. But I think bands are just a inferior Band-Aid, no pun intended, for those times when you're away from the gym or you can't get a full and complete workout. How much weight should I be losing on an aggressive 4-week cut? As much as you could stand. I would aim for 10 to 12 pounds, which is a good amount during a 4-week cut. Some guys can pull off 15, some guys can pull off 18. And I don't like to toss out crazy numbers, but that would be a good goal. That would be a really good goal. Big Lee. Happy Christmas, big hairy ugly dude. Training took a nosedive after my girlfriend and me split. However, I managed a 205 barbell hip thrust for a triple. Lee, usually it's the other way around. Usually you split up with your girlfriend and then you wake up at 5 a.m. chasing chickens around the yard like Rocky Balboa. You got to start doing that for your next future ex-girlfriend. So get yourself together, man. Let's get some of that fat off. Let's get some of that muscle packed on. Your future ex-girlfriend is waiting, and I'm not saying that to be harsh, just a little bit of humor. Big Jimmy. Are 50-pound dumbbell curls for 10 reps impressive? Yeah, absolutely. That's a pretty darn decent level of dumbbell curls. Absolutely impressive. Guys, we got about 10 questions left. So I just want to encourage you, if you have any questions, to get them in now. I will stay on as long as you have questions. It's a little bit slow and sleepy here the Friday after Christmas. So just giving you guys a heads up. Any tips for the JM press? Just starting using it and a bit unsure. So I believe last week on live, I talked about the difference between a JM and a close grip and a skull crusher. So check that out on last week's live. A JM press, a skull crusher, you're basically bringing it to the top of your head, allowing your elbows to open a little bit, and you're rotating and extending, and you want to extend out above the chest. A JM press, a close grip bench, you're bringing your elbows down here, and the bar is going to be wherever it falls, on your torso. A JM press, you're not lowering the elbow behind your body, okay? A JM press, you're folding the bar more towards your chin or Adam's apple area, so your elbows never go behind your body. So that's the main difference, if that makes sense. Wisso, thanks for answering my question. You bet. How to deal with wrist discomfort on the Smith JM, or is it just part of the lift? Well, get a video. I want to take a look at form to see if there's anything you're doing wrong. If something is causing you discomfort and you can't figure it out, you're probably best off abandoning that exercise and trying something different, okay? Who are your top 3 favorite musical artists? That's a good question. Sometimes I listen to an artist and I like one of their songs, but not always all of them. Who have I been listening to lately? Grave. I've been listening to Grave, a death metal band. Who have I been listening to lately other than Christmas music? Oh, wow. I have to think about it. Top 3 favorite artists currently or forever? It would be a tough one. There's so many artists, and I don't know that I have a concrete top 3. It kind of ebbs and flows with my moods. Maybe instead of getting a 7-foot barbell and having to maneuver, I could perhaps get a 6. You could, but just understand for squats, you probably need to be leaner and be able to get under the bar. So just check it out to make sure you're able to get under the bar appropriately. Andy's Kitchen Garden. Happy weekend, Team Massive. Thanks for joining in. Realistically, do you think I might have to reach 200 body weight to bench 3 plates? It won't hurt. That's for sure. Doing a long bulk won't hurt. 200 seems like a lot, but it would probably provide an opportunity for you to pack on some more mass, just really, really slowly getting there. So I don't know for certain, but I will say it definitely wouldn't hurt. Big Justin Jones. When you say lose 10 to 12 pounds in 4 weeks, the initial weight drop in the first days don't count. Generally not, no. Generally after the first 3 or 4 days, the initial weight drop is done. Generally after the first couple of days, and then after that, we start counting. Martin, do you think the injury would be a good time for us to look at bringing the regular deadlift into the program? You could. I mean, there's no harm in it. I think overall, for your type of goals, the best lifts are going to be the hex bar deadlift, the block pull off of 2, 3, 4 inches off the ground, or a mixture of both. We want to be really careful with the lower back, but it could absolutely be a good choice for you. Squat wise, you would be able to do like safety bar squats or Hatfield squats, that sort of thing. So there's a lot of interesting exercises you could do. Rico, thank you for everything. Thank you, Rico. I appreciate that. And thank you for everything. Big Joe G. On a full body program, I'm ramping up sets to 12-week cycle. Would it make sense to temporarily halt leg training when I reach the highest set per body part? I don't know why you would stop leg training. I'm not being critical. I just don't understand. I'm ramping up sets in a 12-week cycle. On the surface, it doesn't make sense to stop any leg training. I don't know your goals, but I'd need to know more. I don't know why you would stop leg training. If a program causes you to do something unconventional, like stop working a body part, I would have to ask, is this a smart program? Email, where can I send form checks? Instagram DM or join Team Massive Discord. Join the Discord server. I have some really good places over there. You can get form checks. You can ask questions. I'm always here to help. Big Martin, no other questions, but wishing you and Fiona a fantastic new year. Thank you, Martin. I appreciate all of your support in the last year. It's been wonderful to get to know you and all of you, especially the Team Massive members, all of you that have supported this channel. We're not done yet. We're going to continue to fight forward on all things good and right and true. And we're going to declutter the industry. We're going to continue our focus on that in the new year. Grave are good. That first album was good if interested. Yeah, absolutely. I'm always interested. There's only a couple songs by Grave that I really, really like more than the rest of their music. A lot of it is okay. It's not bad. It's mediocre. But some of their songs, a couple of them I really, really like, are really catchy, and I can't stop listening to. Ice Cold. Just now made a post for my deadlift form check. Excellent. All right, guys, before I hop off, that's all the questions for today. A little bit of a slow day. That's okay. Before I hop off, I want to remind you guys to please check out the coaching tab. I would love to work with you. If you've not had a coach before, this is a good place to start. So please, please consider that. Also, my website, I have a lot of workout options. I have something called the Massive Collection, which has over 300 pages of workouts. I also have my Massive Omnibus, which has close to 1 million pages of information. I also have custom workouts, which I'll be doing this weekend. I have a lot of custom workouts I'm doing for clients. So if you need a custom workout, please check that out. Lee said that's fair on Grave. They didn't have OWT on Entombed. Yeah, I'm not saying their music is bad. It's just that a lot of it is good. It's just safe and average, right? Not bad, just average. Ryan, let's say I may have accidentally fat bulk too fast. You fatty, you. Yes, I'm a dumbass. Hey, we all do it once or twice. I fat bulked myself nearly into death. I'm not going to judge. Should I just cut my losses and cut? Yeah, man, you need to take care of your health. I don't know your situation. I don't know what your weight is, what your physique looks like, but always land on the side of health. Frank, client of mine, Frank. Hey, big hairy ugly dude. I hope you had a good Christmas. I hope you did as well. Now, Paladin's got me searching the worldwide inner tubes. Hold on, Chris Hemsworth. What? Love and what popsicles? What's the name of the Thor Love and Thunder? I didn't actually see that. That was my I'm burned out on is this Love and Thunder? Is this Thunder, Lovely Thunder? I got burned out on I love superheroes, but man, did I get burned out for a while. I need a little bit of a break. Let's see. All right, let's take a looky here, shall we? I want that cycle, number one. That's my first thought. I want that cycle. All I did for 16 weeks was eat a lot of broccoli and chicken breasts and train for 7 hours a day and take a lot of steroids. That's my thought right there. I mean, let's be real. Hard work, yeah, whatever. A little bit of HGH, a little bit of, I would say a little bit of trend, a little bit of test, and definitely some dedication to the process. He looks phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal, better than most natural bodybuilders I've ever seen. So definitely was working with somebody that knew what he was doing as far as a chemical standpoint. Definitely hard work, definitely a rock solid physique. You can tell there's some slight imbalances, in his physique, but he's not trying to be a bodybuilder. I mean, who here amongst us wouldn't want that physique? All right, guys, that is it. All the questions are gone. A quick and snappy Friday. I encourage you guys to come back next Friday, please, for Massive Iron Live. I'll be here every Friday in 2025, and we are out.
It's not almost over. You're not almost there. You're not almost there. You're not almost there.